Hi, and welcome to another edition of Al's Guitars. Tonight we're going to do something a little different. We're going to actually go into Al's mailbag and we're going to address a question from a viewer. And we don't have too many viewers, and we have even less female viewers, which is what this question is from. And the question is about, how do you truly know what you should be paying for a used guitar? And it doesn't have to be a vintage guitar, it just has to be a used guitar. People who are just starting off their first instrument, maybe their first nice instrument, just want to know, how do you get a fair shake? So, as you can see in the sign behind me, I have Reverb up. And like it or not, Reverb has become a major force in the buying and selling of used instruments all over. It used to be eBay, looks like it's been taken over by that. For sure, Guitar Center is a national seller of quite a few instruments. So, but basically tonight's video is I'm going to show you, if you're not aware, that there is a price guide feature to Reverb. As well as you can also go into the sold listings and you can see the details of past guitars. No fancy graphics here, nothing is going to be outlandish. I'm going to zoom us in here. I'm going to grab my phone, which is exactly the way that most of you are going to go out and do your research. And we're just going to pick a model, and I've picked my model. This was featured on the last video, this is a 1999 Martin D35. A very commonly found model in the Martin lineup, and it's been produced for quite a long time, so there's a lot of them out there. Let's see, how much should you pay if you would like another Martin D35? Like I said, this one's a 1999. I bought this one for reference somewhere around 2002. And I believe it was $12.50 or $12.75 when I bought it, which was pretty much the going rate for these. I might have got a slightly better deal, but that was the market price for them. So let's go and see what's the price for a new one right now, and let's figure out what you should pay used. Okay, so what you want to do is jump on the Google and type in Reverb Price Guide. You will see that Reverb and Price Guide shows up. You just go ahead and click it, and this takes you right into their price guide. Now, for ease, I've already done some typing because it'll make it quicker for us here. The guitar that we were looking at is a 99 Martin D35. So now you're going to get some results. Those results, in this case, are three categories. 65 to 69 Martin D35s, they've categorized it because those are Brazilian rosewood back and sides. Then 85 to 92s. And then 93s to 2004s. So you just go ahead and say, get price estimate. And now you've got an idea, right? It's a standard series in the years that we were looking for. Now select condition. Now you can select anything you want. I don't know why they actually asked this, because when you go ahead and price the gear, it is going to give you a set of different categories. Like, here we go. In this, it says, here's the price guide history. They're estimating $1,758 to $2,143. $1,951 would be considered a great value. Average price down $64. They're only showing you one. It says based on 12 orders in the 6-month window. Let's jump to the 2-year window. Now, you can see that there's multiple sales, and at the high line you were almost to $2,500, and at the low line you were down right around $1,900, perhaps directly on $1,900. So this is kind of a good little quick way that you can tell if what you're actually getting your value at. Now, if you look at, I'm going to jump over here to results from Guitar Center. I went over to Guitar Center's website. They have both a main website that's for new and for used. If you Google that, you will see used instruments. Here's what is probably a nearly new one for $2,500. I looked through their range of sale prices are in the mid-2s. This one's a special edition or a lefty. But in general, they go down to $1,899 here for a 75 in fair condition. So they're not really that much different than what the value guide is that you saw on Reverb. Now I'm going to push pause, and I'm going to call up the sold side of Reverb, and we can look for a little more detail. Now I apologize for flipping the phone on you, but for this one I'm going to actually use the Reverb app because it's a little more intuitive, it's a little easier to use. So all I've done is clicked on the Reverb app, and where it says search for gear, Martin D35. Now you will see everything that is for sale on Reverb for a Martin D35. You may have already done that. But what you want to do is you want to hit the filter and then go down to other options. Click on other options and say sold listings and apply. And now you will see everything that has sold. You'll see if the guy had to lower the price in order to get the money for it, or whether it sold for what his asking price was. So you'll see those reductions on there. Now this is obviously not as easy, but it gives you an idea. Like here's an 84, so it's an older guitar, but in very good condition. The nice part is they maintain the whole ad, so you can go in there and you can see the actual pictures and kind of gauge whether it looks really good to you. Also, you can read exactly what they said. This one said, shoot me your offer, obviously, so he was an eager seller, eager to move it. You can kind of get a really good feel for what it is that you're looking for by looking at a couple sites. And Reverb obviously is a great, really a great research tool for this. Now I hope that gave you some kind of a quick idea of how easy it is in today's world to come up with a reasonable value for a guitar. Now there's a lot to pricing out instruments. There's the originality, if anything has been changed, if it has any defects in it, and if it's been refinished. There's a million little variables, but that's just a little shorthanded way for you at least to get into Reverb and to look and see where you stand in the marketplace. A few tips: if you are going to Craigslist, if you're doing the Facebook Marketplace thing, in many cases those are local ads. Even when they say it will ship, Facebook Marketplace primarily is a local ad organized area. So you shouldn't have to pay what you're paying on Reverb. Remember, if it's eBay, if it's Guitar Center, if it's Reverb, you're going against a national audience, maybe even an international audience. If you are standing in a guy's living room who has it on a local for sale, you can pretty safely take up to 20% off that guitar. You may lose it. The owner may not be interested in it at that much of a discount. Maybe he'll go 10%, but you definitely have a good opportunity to do some type of wheeling and dealing on it. And for sure, like I said, if you offer enough that are reasonable but lower than what their expectations are, they may not take it today, they may take it tomorrow or in a week from now. So don't rush. If you are, everybody has some type of budget constraint. If it's not an extremely rare instrument where you won't have a chance to get it again, by all means, feel free to make an offer. You're the buyer in this case. Anyway, I hope that gives you a little bit of an idea on this. If you would like to see more content on shopping for vintage guitars, identifying, I do plan to do a complete video on how not to get taken. Essentially, how to look for, in some ways, fakes and frauds, and in other ways, how to just tell if you're actually getting an original instrument. So this will be a video that really gives you a little more insight into more vintage guitars, maybe checking out the tuners, looking, little telltale things, looking to see if there's extra holes drilled, or looking for witness marks on certain things, looking at it with a black light. We'll do this much more in depth. I'll replace our normal set here with a table, and we'll have multiple guitars to look at and much more instruction. But for this one, I hope that helped you. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments section. I will be happy to reply to you. Don't forget that the next full review is going to be of a 1927 Martin. You really want to subscribe, or you really want to click on the reminder button or bell or whatever that thing does. Click on it so you're well aware of when that one comes out. It's going to be a real fun episode, I have a feeling. Anyway, thank you for this evening. As always, hope to see you again.